I used to be a drug addict. I used to be an alcoholic, and so I felt like I had become a Sunday Christian, and I knew that God had started to begin to call me out of the church, and I had a burden for the lost. I had a burden for the drug addicts. I had a burden for those that were broken, and so God called me to the inner city of Norfolk.
What we've learned in the homeless community, that those that don't have, they give as though they have an abundance. And those that have, they give as though they have a lack. And I can recall us sharing socks, and if one of us didn't have a toothbrush, another one gave, toothbrushes.
Church Without Walls is a ministry simply based upon being outside of the church. Just the call for every believer to fulfill what the Lord has called us to do.
One Saturday night, I just said, I'm going to go to the inner city of Norfolk. And so we would go out, I started to feed the homeless. My wife would cook a meal, and I would take it out. Sometimes we would bring out clothes, we'd bring out blankets, and I was just going to bless these guys. I was just going to listen to them and hear their struggles and encourage them from my struggles. And they looked at me like someone who had been where they are and who knows what they're going through, and I was able to relate to them and encourage them.
We've been going out every Saturday night for the past 3 years. Rain, sleet, shine, in the midst of a hurricane, we're out there serving, and these guys are there regardless of it, so we're there with them. We believe that in the midst of everything going on, that we believe the place of prayer is the fuel that keeps us going and keeps our heart pure before the Lord, and being able to preach the gospel rightly.
Okay, spiritually, how's your life changed?
Oh man, just a new sense of everything. Faith, strength, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever you want, it's there. Just go get it. You gotta reach out and you gotta say, hey God, I'm ready. He gonna say, you sure? But you just say, yeah. And that's about it.
And I remember when the Hurricane Sandy hit, we weren't able to get into Salvation Army. So we slept in my car that night, and I remember the water coming in at the bottom of the floorboard of my car, and I put my feet up on the brakes just to try to, keep from getting wet. But I remember the times when we slept in the car, it was the most peaceful sleep that we've ever experienced. And one morning, we got up out the car, and it was really, really cold. And I was walking, and I was, talking to God, my normal routine, and I was talking to God, and I said, Lord, I said, I just need you to talk to me. I said, I just need just that one touch, God. I met this guy named Steve who was with a ministry called A Church Without Walls, and they were out handing out coats and everything. So I went to Steve and I asked him, could I, get a coat? And he gave me a coat, and I told him that I had a friend who needed a coat as well. So he gave me 2 coats, and we sat down with Steve and we told our story to him, about what we were going through. And he leaned over to me and he said, Tasha, he told me the story of the woman that had been bleeding and how she touched the hem of Jesus' garment, and she got that one touch. And he said, Tasha, he said, God is giving you that one touch. And I remember how I felt, because I know I was just having that conversation with God that I needed that one touch.
I began to just keep going every Saturday night. I tried to be faithful. I tried to remember their names. I would just stop by during the week where they would hang out and say hello and just drop in on them occasionally. And then people started to hear about what I was doing, and they started to ask about it, and more people started coming on board and started going out with me. And now, basically, we have a church right in the street, right on the curb. We preach out of the Word. There's 40 to 50 homeless people sitting in front of us, and they're hearing the Word preached. We do a dinner, we serve a meal. Sometimes we bring pizza. Sometimes we do a cookout right there for them, knowing that these guys don't have those luxuries that we have. And then on Thursdays, it doesn't just stop there. I mean, we worship out there, but on Thursdays, one of our guys goes to Panera in Norfolk and gathers these guys, and they're going through the book of Matthew together, and he's discipling them and showing them who Christ is and what he looks like, and there's testimonies from guys that through the discipleship have reconciled with their family members, and we've literally watched guys get off the streets, and I've had an opportunity to move furniture from a storage unit into a home, and that was just such a joyful day to see these guys, their lives being restored, and so that's our church on Saturday night. That's what I love to do, is just to go out there and see these guys be encouraged, and they think it's their church. They don't go on Sunday morning, they come on Saturday night, and they're attentive to the word, and they come every week faithfully.
This guy would drill you with Jesus till you can't be drilled no more, until you learn something. But all in all, this is a good guy right here.
What do you think you'd be if you probably had not have met Jeremy?
I don't know. Let's not think about the possibilities.
It's beautiful to watch the body of Christ come together under one purpose, under one banner, Jesus Christ.
I am a church without walls.